Only You, The Platters on LNC Radio 113.8. Hope you enjoyed that. Little thought occurred to me during the song break, related to what we were just talking about with the Hindus. How, well, obviously there's lots of differences between Hinduism. I'm talking specifically about the type of Hinduism talked about in the Bhagavad Gita, and then the commentary on that by the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, or at least the founder, the Bhaktivedanta. But the thought is this: we were talking about the similarities between Hinduism and other religions, and the idea of eating, actually, as weird as that sounds. When you sit down to eat, normally you're focused on the pleasures of eating, the hedonism of it, for better or worse. And the whole idea of what they're talking about in the Perfection of Yoga, the book we were just talking about, is that you shouldn't do anything for the satisfaction of the material body. You shouldn't live for those kind of hedonistic attachments. And so what he suggests is when you sit down to eat, you focus on Krishna. You almost eat for Krishna, with Krishna or God, obviously. God in your mind being sort of ever present, I suppose. And it very much reminded me of the idea of saying grace. You're sat around a table and you praise God, and you thank him for the food, and you're mindful of God, and and in a similar way to the Christians. I mean, I was listening to Jonathan Peugeot recently, and he was talking about how, what is worship? Worship is the thing which you hold highest. It's your highest point of attention. It's the highest point of the hierarchy of your attention, by which you can order everything else into that hierarchy, or the structures, the meaning, the purpose, all your daily activities, your relationships. They all are subservient to that highest point of your attention, and that's what worship is. It's that highest point of attention. And very similarly to these Krishnaites, or whatever you would call followers of Krishna, there's that, I suppose, a similar kind of idea in the idea of saying grace, is keeping that God in mind. And obviously, it's not a one-to-one comparison, but I thought it was worth noting. I mean, bear in mind, I've never actually said grace myself. I'm not Christian, and I wasn't raised Christian either. I have seen it in the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, though. It was in a couple episodes, I believe. One of them, I think it was the very first episode, where Ashley does a little beatbox freestyle. That was a good one. Will's looking kind of a bit embarrassed but proud, and Uncle Phil's just looking embarrassed. Man, that show was something else. I gotta say it. I remember the episode where his dad comes back. Gee, I mean, I can watch that episode today, and it will make me tear. It'll make me cry. I know it won't make me cry. It won't make me cry. I'm a man. But some water may come out of my eye and drip down my cheek, and before anyone notices, I'll try and hurriedly wipe it away. I'm too masculine for that kind of stuff. Um, but that episode is very emotional, and potentially the pinnacle of Will Smith's acting career. Which is not necessarily a great compliment, because I think it was 1994. But there's the other episode that really sticks out, which is when the whole family tries to do a séance for Hillary's dead fiance. So they go to this sort of mystic Meg type woman, and Will starts kind of fucking with her a little bit, mocking it. And yeah, so she puts a curse on him, and they go home, and everything starts going wrong with everyone, and they start blaming Will, and then he wakes up. And he realized, oh, thank God it was a dream. But then the exact same daily events happen, and then again and then again. I think that might have been the first time I ever kind of saw the idea of a dream within a dream. The whole Inception thing. I probably watched Inception for the first time when I was 15, maybe. I don't know. That's also a great movie, but it wasn't as fundamental in establishing that kind of narrative idea as that episode of The Fresh Prince was, weirdly enough. Um, and obviously, it beggars the question, how do you know that you're now in the base reality once you've emerged from the dream? I mean, you don't. I mean, you could go to sleep again and wake up, and the day repeats, like in that episode. Um, it's an interesting thought because we're not entirely sure if the rest of all the episodes after that in The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air actually happened, or were just part of the dream, the weird spirally loop dream that Will found himself in. I mean, I'm pretty sure they met Trump after that episode, so it would kind of make sense. Everything starts getting a little crazy after that episode. Maybe it's just the dream slowly degrading and becoming fuzzier, but more fantastical. Who knows? Who knows? We got some Russ Morgan up next. So Tired. This is a little known song by, frankly, a little known artist. You'll know Russ Morgan if you've ever listened to The Caretakers, Everything at Once at the End of Time, or whatever that thing is called. EATEOT. Sounds like some Scientology bullshit, but hopefully, despite its lack of notoriety, this radio show can give it a bit more popularity. We'll see. This is Russ Morgan. So Tired. You're listening to LNC Radio 113.8.